Hi, I'm Brandy Winans, president of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, and we are here again tonight for our 41st annual Hall of Fame induction banquet at Higgins Hall. I have to tell you, I have been president here for the last 2 years, and I have been so honored and humbled also to have been the only second female who has ever been president of this beautiful sports club that's been in existence for 64 years. So I just wanted to say thank you to the sports club. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of my 2 years, my board of directors, my officers, and my advisory board, because it is and does take a village to make something like this happen. And I want to wish my new incoming president, Lou Maggio, who is going to be an awesome president, all the best.
Welcome to the 2025 Sports Club of Tampa Bay Hall of Fame. This is our 41st banquet, our 64th year. Yeah, how about a round of applause for us being old? Yes. And I'll ask you guys to keep your table talk to a minimum. We're not super formal tonight. I'll yell over you most of the night. I don't have a huge problem with it, but let's be a little bit respectful to the people who come up here and get inducted. We do appreciate that. So keep your table talk to a minimum. This event is got a rich history. Tonight is going to be a super special night. Not even I can screw this one up with this list we have tonight. My name is JP Peterson. I am a member of the board here at the Sports Club, which is obviously why I got this gig. I'm also yes, you have to laugh at all my stupid jokes. I've instructed most of you to do so, especially you, Randorf. I told you you're my Ed McMahon tonight. I want to hear a lot of yuck from you. I work for the Tampa Bay Lightning as one of their broadcasters. The Lightning are well represented here tonight. All my brethrens, absolutely. There's my boss, John Franzone, the only man in the room that hasn't fired me yet. At News Channel 8, Kelly Laster is here, one of our board of directors. I was a sports anchor for them for 10 years. Thank you guys for coming as well. I work for 620 WDAE, work for the Bucks Network. Where's the Bucks? You guys are here as well. So I work for you guys, Channel 44. So yeah, come to think of it, most everybody in this room has fired me at one time or another. But luckily this is not about me. Well, wait a minute, there is the Rays. Eric Neander is here, the Rays GM. Eric, where are you? Thank you very much for coming tonight. See, Eric is an exquisite judge of talent. He's the only one that has not hired me. So that's why the Rays do so good. But thank you guys for coming tonight. As I said, this is going to be super special. We are, and I say this with great humility, we are the history of Tampa Bay sports here. It's rare that we all gather at one time together, our pro teams, our college teams, UT, USF. Michael Kelly is here tonight. Where's Michael? Michael Kelly, there you are. Michael, we're losing you to Navy, and I know that is absolutely something close to your heart, and we are absolutely horrified that you're leaving, but we're glad that it's something that you have wanted for so long, going to Navy. Can I get a big round of applause for Michael Kelly and everything he's done for USF? Thank you, Michael. But we gather here as one. Our high schools are well represented tonight, and the sports in our youth is really woven into the fabric of Tampa Bay. It's like cigars, it's like Cuban sandwiches, it's like Bob Basham and Sullivan opening another restaurant. It's Tampa Bay. Thank you guys for that. The former list of Hall of Famers who are in our Hall of Fame is amazing. And just to throw a couple names out here, the people that will be joining tonight, guys like Al Lopez in the Baseball Hall of Fame. By the way, if you hear a name you love, cheer, stand up, clap, do whatever you like. Babe Zaharias, Leroy Selman. Leroy Selman is in it. The great Lou Piniella, George Steinbrenner, the boss, is in our Hall of Fame. Wade Boggs, Phil Esposito is in our Hall of Fame. Yes, Tony La Russa, the crime dog, Fred McGriff went in a couple of years ago. Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks, Martin St. Louis. Yes. Steve Spurrier was here last year. Bruce Arians, great speeches. So this is going to be a super fun night. This class tonight that will join them in Tampa Bay sports immortality is super special. Evan Longoria is here tonight. Where's Evan? Right there he is. Came all the way from California to be with us tonight. But really, I mean, you don't need a big excuse to leave California, right? You come to Tampa, right? I get it. We'll never forget game 162, man. That was just unbelievable. I left early. I'll admit I left early. I mean, you were down 7-0. I mean, come on. And I had a good offer. So I missed it. But there was a 3-run homer, got us close, and then Danny Johnson hit the one with 2 strikes, and then in the 12th, you win it for us, man. You guys remember that? Yeah. That's why we're here, right? This is why we're here. We love Tampa Bay sports, man. It's just in our blood. And we thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Dickie V's going in tonight. Dick Vitale. I haven't seen Dickie yet. Where is he? Over there. There's Dickie V. BTP, he's a high riser over there. Gonna give us a little dipsy-doo dunkaroo tonight, I hope, right? This guy's beaten cancer more times than the Bucks have beaten the Eagles recently, and he is here tonight. Thank you, man. We love you. Dominick Ciao is here tonight. There he is. Hey, Coach. I'm sweating up here like I'm in your practices. 35 seasons. He's been in high school for 35 years, just like me. You're like Ken Erickson at USF. You guys just won't leave. I mean, at some point, right? But thank you so much for all the lives you have touched, and we look forward to celebrating your career tonight. Dave Mishkin. Where's Mish? Yeah, one of my colleagues right there. Score! I did it to you one time. Scared the hell out of you, right? I wish you were following me around at college. That would have been awesome. All right, none of you got that one at all. We'll just move right past that one. But thank you for being here. It'll get to you a little bit while longer. And the Lightning are well represented here. The coach, John Cooper, is here tonight. Coach, thank you so much for being here. This guy has won a championship at everything he's ever touched. He's won a championship. I'll tell you more about it later, but it all started August 23rd, 1967. In Prince George, British Columbia, I'm told, by a reliable source, Cooper coached the Newborn Infant League in the Diaper Soiling Championship and won it. And he hasn't stopped winning since the day he was born. Coach, thank you for being here tonight. Lou Maggio wrote that joke, by the way. I'm not taking credit for that one. Rob Higgins is here today. Where's Rob? Natalie attired Rob Higgins. Sorry, I just get so excited about this night. Rob has been an absolute icon in his field, and I'm told he's the first Hall of Fame inductee to request that he actually MC his own induction ceremony. Can you believe that? So after much consternation from the board, and of course my lawyers had to get involved, as you know, we said no. So you get to sit and enjoy the night. And I love you, man, and thank you for all you've done for Tampa Bay. Rob Higgins is here tonight. And tonight, Tony Dungy will receive our Lifetime Achievement Award. I know Tony wanted to be with us tonight, but he could not, and you're going to see a wonderful video from him that he spent a lot of time doing. His son, Eric, is here tonight to accept for him. We love Eric. And his son is here, and I thought, what better way to celebrate Tony Dungy, who's been a father to many of us, you know, a nation, broadcasters, his coaches, his players and coaches as well. So it's great to have his family here, and I covered Coach Dungy for many years. What an incredible man. And we're glad Eric's here, and it's going to be a great celebration of his life and what he's meant to Tampa Bay. So we got a class, man. We got a class here tonight, and we are so excited. So no sitting on your hands, all right? Get rowdy, cheers, standing ovations, especially for the host, highly encouraged. Now to our inductees, you get 10 minutes. That's right, to encompass your entire life, we give you 10 minutes there tonight. We'll give or take a few, but we do have a rule. It's known as the Gene Deckerhoff rule. Where's Gino? I just saw Gene. Gene Deckerhoff, who we just removed from the podium from the Pepin Center 3 years ago when he was accepting. He just made it back here. So if you go more than 10 minutes, Titus O'Neill comes out, gives you the hammer, and you're done. So, all right, without further ado, I'm going to bring up somebody with some class here. David Lane, chaplain for the USF football team, is here to give the invocation. David?
All right, let's take just a moment and give thanks. Father, we're humbled by your goodness tonight. And Lord, I thank you for what we're about to hear, some amazing stories from these enshrinees. And I'm sure there were times in their lives, Father, that just like Jeremiah, when you called him to be a prophet, to represent your word, as a young man, he said, I can't do it. But you said, before you were born, I knew you. There's not a person in this room, Father, that your hand is not upon their life. As we hear these stories, I'm sure we're going to hear about some great victories, and we're going to hear about some moments of fear and uncertainty. And as we all know, uncertainty can be a monster. But God, I'm so thankful that you're not just the God of the mountaintop, but you're the God of the valley. And no matter what we face, and we all have something in common here tonight, we all have problems. We all struggle in this journey we call life. That's why it's so important that we hold on to the one truth that's not about religion, because there's a lot of different beliefs in this room, and we respect that. But love is undefeated. Love wins every time, always has, always will. It could change our community. It can change our country. It can change this world if we love people one at a time. So, Father, as we're about to hear about the journey that you've taken these folks on in their life, as they share, they pull back the curtain tonight, and for a few moments share their story, we want to thank you for what we're about to hear. Lord, we thank you for the food that we're about to enjoy, recognizing that there are many people that outside these walls don't have a meal. May we never neglect those that are hungry and in need. Help us to keep our eyes open and our hearts tender towards the needy. But we thank you for those who prepared this wonderful meal, for all those who worked so hard to put this great evening together as we celebrate your love this life you've blessed us with and said you'll give it to us abundantly. And we give you the praise for it all. In your name we pray. Amen.
I asked the good chaplain to pray for my jokes, and he just stiffed me. So I needed that. All right. One of my favorite things about this night is we do the national anthem. So we're going to ask you all, if you can, to please stand. And we're going to bring out the Entertainment Review, the lovely ladies, to do our national anthem. Please welcome them.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare fell both bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was exceptional. Ladies, thanks so much. All right, speaking of exceptional, I'd like to bring up the president of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, the wonderfully beautiful and talented Brandy Winans. Please welcome her.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Were they not amazing? Can we have another round of applause for Entertainment Review? Those girls were amazing. Good evening, everybody. I want you all to give yourself a nice round of applause tonight because you deserve it. You are here helping our youth sports and the Sports Club of Tampa Bay. It's hard to believe that we are in our 64th year and our 41st annual Hall of Fame Banquet induction, and we just continue to be able and be honored to induct these great men and women that we have over the 64 years, and tonight is no exception. As your president the past 2 years, my goals were to increase membership, extend outside activities, to increase revenue to help others, and we have grown so much. Look at this room tonight. This, in our history, we have sold out more and brought in more sponsorships than we ever have in one night. Thank you. And Mark Donahue will be mentioning all of our sponsors, and we will be speaking with those in just a minute, but I also do want to reiterate Edmonson Electric and Security for being our title sponsor tonight. And Mark will be invoking all of our other sponsors tonight. Aside from our Hall of Fame banquet that we have been doing for 41 years, we have added so much over the last couple of years, and I'm so humbled and honored to have been a part of this. We have added the Leonard and George Levy Charity Golf Classic, and that is really because the Levy-Barrett family has given us permission to continue to use the name of George and Leonard Levy. See, Everybody says it's Leonard and George. Tonight I said I'd reverse it. So anyway, we are so gracious and thankful that you have come on board and allowed us to continue the Levy name because Leonard and George Levy, if you're not familiar, were really responsible, the brothers, to bring in professional sports, collegiate sports into the Tampa Bay area. So please give them a nice round of applause. Along with our Charity Golf Classic this year, we are also, do we have any pickleball players in here? Anybody? Come on. Well, guess what? We're doing in a few months at the Tampa Crew at Tampa Bay our first annual Sports Club of Tampa Bay pickleball event. So we will be letting you know all about it, and we want our pickleball players to come out. We had a May 3rd date that we had to change. We're hoping that Tina Martinez and Charlie Bradley will come back and do the challenge they were going to do May 3rd. So we need some encouragement there from you guys. 2 years ago, we finally started working with the Hillsborough Education Foundation, and this year we have given 5 more $1,000 high school scholarships, and totaling over the last 2 years, $10,000 in $1,000 high school scholarships to our high school seniors going into college. So this was another avenue that we have and will continue with the Sports Club at Tampa Bay. Some of the other recipients that we have added this year are the Skills Center with Celeste Roberts. I don't know if Celeste is in the house tonight. If you haven't been over to the Skills Center, check it out. It's amazing. Of course, our main and always focus has been our boys club of the Greater Tampa Bay. So we are excited to be able to donate to them as well. Cristo Rey High School, Charlie Bradley basketball camp we added in, Pete Mulry Foundation, to name a few. And they're all in our program tonight, and we hope you'll take one home tonight. The programs are extremely unique, and we're very proud that we are able to produce those for you. To date, we've been able to give over $1.3 million in community grants, scholarships, and to support youth sports. Because of people in the community and sponsors like you. But it takes a village. And I could not have worked the last 2 years with a more dynamic and amazing board of directors, officers, and advisory board. Will you please stand if you are in the audience, please? Thank you so much. I want to give all of you recognition. We also have a few of our former Sports Club of Hall of Fame inductees tonight, and I would like to acknowledge them. Lightning's Rick Peckham, Dexter Jackson, the voice you all know, Mr. Gene Deckerhoff, John Crumley, Russ Cozart, Pop Suesta, Lilo Prado, Ken Erickson, Jose Fernandez, and Pete Mulry. And we have a few notables that I also want to mention tonight. We are so proud to have Carol and Tom Zimmer. Carol is the wife, Tom is the son of Don Zimmer. We also lost another compadre this year, Ricky Gallen. I would like to have just a moment of silence, if we could, please, for those to be remembered. Thank you. And we also have a few other notables in the audience tonight. I'd like to welcome Martha Menihan, wife of Bill Menihan, Tampa Bay Rays Eric Neander. And I heard another friend of mine was coming tonight, another former Buccaneer, Frank Murphy. So please stand to get recognized. We thank you for coming this evening to honor our inductees tonight. If you haven't noticed out there, we also have a silent auction. And we have some wonderful memorabilia by our friend Jeff Fennerman at Pro Sports, Pro Signature America. And if you haven't looked at them, you know, we have an inductee tonight named Evan Longoria. And I think there's a few things that Evan actually had signed. I don't know, it might have been his rookie career or something that's up on the memorabilia plaque tonight, along with an autographed bat for Pete Rose and some other wonderful things. So please check out our silent auction tonight. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Mr. J.P. Peterson, but I do want to say welcome, J.P. JP has honored us the last several years to be our MC. I couldn't even imagine doing this without him now. And I'd also, like to recognize Mr. Mark Donahue, our chair, who will be up next.
Thank you, Brandy. Great stuff. I appreciate that. I'm here because you tolerate me. I get it. It's all good. Yes, we'd like to bring up Mark Donahue, who is our chair of the Hall of Fame committee, to recognize our sponsors, Hall of Famers, and others. Thank you, Mark. He's the reason I'm here, actually. He's the first one who called me, so you have him to blame.
Thank you, JP. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me add my personal welcome to the 500 of you here. It's a very special welcome, and to our inductees as well. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce our generous sponsors of tonight's event. I think a lot of us grew up in Tampa, and for those of us that did, we've seen time and time again the incredible generosity of certain families, businesses, educational institutions, and of course our professional franchises. The tradition of giving began in 1961 with Leonard and George Levy, the founders of our organization. In that same spirit, we're proud to recognize an inspiring list of sponsors and supporters tonight, following in the Levy's footsteps. Please know the majority, as Brandy said, proceeds from this event will go to the Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay. So for the first time, let's hear it for the Boys and Girls Club. I spent one summer at the West Tampa Boys Club and did not learn Spanish. We'll move on from there. For the first time ever, we have a title sponsor, Edmonson Electric and Security. Let's hear it for them, very much so. Thank you, Kevin Edmondson, for your incredibly generous support. I see you at every charity event that I attend. Thank you. Next, our event sponsors, First Horizon Bank. Thank you for your continued commitment to our community and to your efforts with this club and including our golf tournament. Let's hear it. Once again, there's a family in Tampa who has supported not only this group, but youth sports and Catholic education for as long as I can remember. They are the Joe and Ann Garcia Foundation. Thank you, Ann and Cindy. Our platinum sponsors include the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go Bolts and go Bucks. Thank you for everything you have done and continue to do in our community. If you're not plugged in, those two organizations, along with the Rays, do incredible work in our community. Next, when you talk about generosity, the New York Yankees and the Steinbrenner family, whose generosity has spanned generations, has been supporting us and supporting these charities forever. Thank you, Stephen Swindell and Howard Grossworth, for the Yankees. Among our other platinum sponsors, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay, Cigar City Fasteners, Bayshore Films, and Glory Days Grill. Thank you. Now on to our gold sponsors. We're getting to it, and this is quite a list. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Rowdies. Thank you, Rays. The NFL and the University of South Florida, who's been a longtime supporter of this club. The Tampa Sports Commission, Tampa Catholic High School, and Jesuit High School, who claim at least 3 of tonight's inductees. Let's hear it for them. I also want to recognize Tampa Electric, who has supported this community, well, since we've had electricity, and that's a long time. Thank you, TECO, very much for your help. Our additional gold sponsors include Grow Financial and Land Rover of Tampa. The law firm of Hill, Ward, and Henderson, and Cynthia and Al Van Voris. And rounding out, we have Extravagant Productions, A Muni Financial, People, HRO, and a very proud Berkeley Prep that's here tonight. Thank you all for the wonderful group of sponsors. And I would like to take one more second to say one more thing about a family, if I can have your attention. It was 11 years ago today that the Tampa sports community and baseball as a whole lost a true warrior of the game. That was the day that Don Zimmer passed away. It was 11 years ago today. Please join me in a moment of silence. And let's give a really warm welcome to Mrs. Don Zimmer and her son, Tom Zimmer. Take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Don't go too far because you got to give out some money over here, partner. At this time, we'd like to, first of all, I'd like to say thanks to we have the Rays here and the Yankees sitting almost next to each other. And a huge thanks to the Yankees for what you guys did this year. And the Rays are playing at Steinbrenner Field tonight. So thank you for the Rays for being here tonight while your game is being played. We really, really appreciate the two of you guys coming together. That's so awesome here in Tampa Bay. Thank you all for doing that. All right, Brandy's got a big check. And we have Freddie Williams, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club. Where are you, Freddie? Come on up and get your money. Let's go. This is what it's all about. Yeah, come on up, Freddie. Welcome. Freddie Williams, CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Listen, I know we're applauding tonight, but I also have to say Extravaganza Productions, Mr. Paul Thomason, and their staff, they have worked diligently all day in here to make this a memorable evening. We added surround sound to make sure everybody in the back can hear this year. And I'd also want to give a very big applause to Family by the Catering, who is doing all of our catering this evening. And it's not easy with the number of people that we have here tonight. Can we get both of them a very nice round of applause? And they have also been a sponsor for us.
All right, to present our check here is, as you know, Brandy and Lou Maggio, our incoming president. And Eddie, if you'd like to say a few words, please head on up to the mic.
Freddie and I go way back, way back. I'm so proud that he has become the CEO, and both of the Boys and Girls Clubs of both bays now have become the greater Boys and Girls Club. Thanks.
Well, I wasn't expecting to make any remarks, but I just want to, on behalf of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Tampa Bay, want to thank everyone who's here in the room today. We have a new name. We merged the Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay and the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Sun Coast to create the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Tampa Bay. And what that allows us to do is have our donor dollars go even further, because we've been able to not see the merger as a cost reduction exercise, but rather an income impact generating exercise. So we're able to have donor dollars go even further, and we're so excited to see how we can continue to serve the community. So on behalf of the Boys and Girls Clubs of more than 24,000 kids that we serve here in the local Tampa Bay market, we can put these dollars to great use, particularly here as we get ready for summer camp. So thank you.
Freddie, come over here. On behalf of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, we would like to donate $20,000 again to help their youth sports.
Thank you, guys. All right, you guys ready for some speeches? All right, here we go. Let's get it rolling. Again, if you want to stand up and cheer, heckle me. Don't heckle any of the inductees, please. Let's have fun with this, because this is going to be a lot of fun as they share their stories. All right, we're going to start with a man who is near and dear to my heart. For many, many years, he's been running the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and keeping me in business. Because I get to talk about the great events that they bring to our great area: Super Bowls, national championship games, Frozen Fours, Women's Final Four. I could go on and on. It makes a great impact in our area, not only economically, but I would love to say sports spiritually, if I can, because it just fills our hearts with so many great moments that we've seen across the years, and moments that we'll treasure forever. And it's your efforts and the efforts of your team that make it all happen. Let's watch a short video of Rob Higgins.
Well, our community is such a special place. It starts with the people, just amazing people throughout the community. With every organization we have an opportunity to deal with.
Rob is brilliant, so it's really fun. There's times you can tell the wheels are spinning and you can't wait to hear what those are. He's constantly challenging the team by being innovative. Ways to think outside the box, how to raise the bar, how to elevate our game.
While my job at USF didn't have a lot to do with bidding on events, the Sports Commission hired me 21 years ago, and I've tried to treat every day like game day ever since. That's right, game day, every day.
His passion has been unbelievable from day one. I mean, he does things a certain way that is a cut above. And I think for him to see Tampa Bay grow the way it has, he's mirrored it with his effort and energy throughout his career to try and continue to be the best of the best.
I think I'll always be accused of being a kid. There's no doubt about it. I think it has been a really surreal journey. When I was that 8-year-old kid, I probably thought I was going to be in the NBA one day. But then when I got to high school and I was still 4'11", the reality set in pretty fast that wasn't going to be the case.
Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Rob Higgins. Arguably three of the greatest competitors in the history of sports and entertainment.
He legitimately values the community that we serve and constantly is creating ways to elevate what Tampa Bay does.
Just thinking about the tradition when it comes to the pride that we take in hosting events of all shapes and sizes. Dates all the way back to the Levy brothers and Tom McEwen and so many community pillars, and then it's been carried on throughout several generations here.
It's unbelievably deserving. He's unbelievably humble. He leads by example. He has this energy, work ethic, drive, excitement, and love, and it spreads like wildfire, and that's why everyone follows him naturally. He deserves this more than anything and anyone. He is just one of a kind.
Rob is truly the smartest guy that I know, and it's been an absolute pleasure working by his side over the past 20 years. And for this honor, I congratulate him.
Well, we couldn't be more honored. I don't consider this to be me going into the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame. I consider it to be our staff going in. I consider it to be all those mentors that have poured into me over the years. I consider it to be my family who's been so supportive throughout our entire journey. It's all of us. You guys think you're getting one inductee when it comes to me, but you're getting hundreds of people that have all helped along the way. And so it just, from the bottom of all of our hearts, we truly appreciate this honor, and it means so much to all of us, not just me.
Well, if you know the man, you know the passion. Please welcome to the stage, Rob Higgins.
I've been told that that microphone was too tall for me. So I needed to come to this one. I didn't want your job, JP. Before I do anything, you heard a little bit in the video, I want the Tampa Bay Sports Commission staff to stand up. It's these people that make these events a reality. You'll notice it's a really young table, but if you do the math, they've actually spent 90 years at the Sports Commission. Every single one of them could be the CEO of this organization and so many others, but they give back and want to be a part of Team Tampa Bay. So let's give them one more round of applause. Also want to thank our board of directors who has been phenomenal and so supportive throughout. Jeff Adams, who's been a part of the organization for more than 25 years, is here tonight. He's been by our side. Let's give him a round of applause. You know, as I saw the list of honorees, I quickly understood that I had no reason or no belonging amongst them, but I also noticed just that I have a lot of connections to a variety of them. So I just want to tell just a quick note or story on each of them. Dave Mishkin, I don't know you as well, but you're like a spirit animal to me. Like the passion and enthusiasm you bring to Team Tampa Bay night in and night out is truly phenomenal. Let's give Dave a round of applause. I know Terry Rupp is not here tonight, but the first time I heard Terry's name, I was actually at freshman orientation for Jesuit, and they were showing me where my speech class was, and they said one time Terry Rupp hit a baseball off of this building, which I did not understand because it was like 600 feet from home plate. But the man was an incredible athlete. He's an awesome administrator and an awesome coach, too. Let's give Terry Rupp a round of applause. Another great coach in the house with Dominick, Ciao. We would have some knockdown, drag-out, one-on-one games at Jesuit. And I could always tell when I was playing well because then he would go, it was a lot of outside shooting, he would immediately start taking me into the post. And he would end up winning. And it's not because he was a great post player, it's because his back is absolutely disgusting. And I wanted no part of it, but he would just keep posting me up. But the thing that I remember the most of anything is that, believe it or not, I was not a football player at Jesuit. I know you. But he treated every kid like me, a non-athlete, like they were the star quarterback. So I just praise you for the way that you've not only helped the football team everywhere you've been, but you've helped every kid there as well. So let's give Dahmer a round of applause. Mr. 162, Evan Longoria is in the house. Evan, while the things that you accomplished on the field were truly incredible, I think it's the things that you did off the field that you probably don't get enough respect for. Little do many people know, he literally went into Belmont Heights, our fabled Little League here in Tampa, and replaced their scoreboard there, and it's something I'll never forget. So thank you for everything you've done, Evan. Tony Dungy, I'll pay the ultimate compliment. I think everybody knows in this room how much of a compliment this is. He has walked in the footsteps of Leroy Selman. And what an incredible advocate and ambassador he's been for our community. He was also my son's 6th and 7th grade flag football coach. And I knew we were going to win the championship because in the middle of the game, the referees would take selfies with him. So I felt like we were going to get every call. And guess what? We got every call and quickly had our hands on the trophy. And then last but not least, my man Coop. The longest tenured, most successful coach in Team Tampa Bay history. I want to tell you just a quick story on Coop. He was with us at our event, the Sneaker Soiree, more than 10 years ago. It was his first time. He spent a lot of time with a kid by the name of Tony Colton there. And after the event ended, he just continued to hang with the kid. 2 weeks later, I get a call from Tony's mom. And Tony's mom said, "You won't believe it. John Cooper just showed up at Tony's chemo treatment." No press conference, no media, no social media, no photographer, nothing. So I call Coop and I say, Coop, I can't believe it. I can't believe you showed up at Tony's treatment. And he said, Rob, it means as much to me or more than it meant to Tony. He was wearing a Lightning shirt and it was an incredible moment. And so, John, the number of times you've done that, the number of times you've impacted our community is truly phenomenal. 31 other NHL teams would beg to have you there, and we are so lucky to have you at Team Tampa Bay. And all of those honorees are truly amazing, but only one honoree has this building named after him. No, we know it's named after Monsignor Higgins, who, along with the Levy brothers, Tom McEwen, so many others, laid the foundation for Team Tampa Bay. You know, I hit on, sorry, I have that effect everywhere I go. Some people just ring the glass to get me to wrap up. Others just drop entire platters. So I'm not close to done, but we'll keep it moving. I've hit on a few coaches, but I do just want to hit on a quick coach story. So in 1970, that's right, 1970, there was a dinner that preceded these Hall of Fame banquets. And the Levy brothers, who you've already heard a few times tonight, forefathers, founding fathers of Team Tampa Bay, invited the iconic Bear Bryant to come to the event. They sent him an invitation in the mail. Bear did not respond. They called Bear. Bear did not respond. They kept calling him. Weeks went on. They would not stop calling Bear Bryant. Finally, Bear's assistant puts him through on the phone to Bear. And Bear said, guys, how do you not get this? What do I have to do to say I'm not coming to that dinner? How could you not get this message? You would think all these calls that you'd understand. I'm not coming to that dinner. Like, why aren't you getting through to, why aren't you getting this message? It's pretty obvious. I haven't responded to anything. And they responded, Coach Bryant, do you teach your players how to quit? And Coach Bryant said, what time do you need me there? And it's that tradition of being relentless that I think has been baked into Team Tampa Bay for so many years. I heard that story countless times. Leonard would call me over to the men's grill at Palma Sia, and anytime I needed to hear that story, he would say, Rob, have I ever told you the story about how we got Bear Bryant to the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame dinner? And I would say, yes, Leonard, you told me that. And he would say, Rob, let me tell you it again. And I knew he, in his mind, thought that I was starting to let the foot off the gas and be a little less relentless than I was supposed to. Let's give a round of applause for the Levy family that is here tonight. Speaking of being relentless, I'm here because so many people have given me relentless opportunities over the years. Tommy Tonelli got me started as an 8-year-old at USF. I'm so fortunate that he's in the house. I'd love to give him a round of applause if you don't mind. My guy, Michael LaBarbera, is here. We've been friends for 40 years. He could actually fit with that microphone. I cannot. Speaking of Michael Kelly, man, I'll tell you what, you have been such a great friend, not only to me, but to this community. Whether you've been working here back in '99 with the men's Final Four, 2001 with the Super Bowl, you left us for a little bit, but still found a way to bring events here. And then you came back and have done a great job with USF. Let's give Michael another round of applause. He took the Navy job 3 hours ago, so we're not going to bring up the potential of bringing the Army-Navy game here. That would not be appropriate. However, we'll be talking soon, Michael, that's for sure. I mentioned Jeff Adams already, such a special friend, mentor to me. But then finally, I just want to recognize my family. So it's been a challenging 3 years for our family. First, we lost my mom. There's an empty seat at my table tonight. At each of our family's milestones, whether it be kids' graduations or anything else, a special night like tonight, we've had a seat for her, and I have no doubt that she's smiling down on us. But my dad and sister have carried on her legacy in a really profound way, and I love you guys. My kids, Lainey and Landon, have been so supportive and everything to me as well. And finally, my wife, Casey Higgins. My God, what a gamer she is. She has been just an incredible rock to all of us. I've recruited hundreds of events over the years, if not thousands, but she's definitely the best recruiting job and biggest win I've ever had. So let's give Casey Higgins a round of applause. Lastly, I just want to share, I've been through my own fight in the recent years, recently, and I just would encourage all you to stay on top of your personal health screenings. It's so important, they're easy to put off, but you've got to be relentless about that in making sure you're staying on top of your personal health journey. Too small, not a lot of talent. Nobody will accuse me of ever being the smartest one in the room, and I'm definitely not athletic enough. But if you hear one thing tonight, it's that if you surround yourself with great people, you listen to them, and you don't compromise on your passion, anything is possible. Think about this. The only thing that's a longer shot of getting Bear Bryant to come to the Tampa Sports Club dinner is a guy like me getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. But somehow, being relentless worked for both of us. So thank you so much for this incredible honor.
Rob Higgins, everybody. Walks right up, takes my microphone, upstages me as an MC. He's the best. And if you don't feel the passion of Team Tampa Bay and how you just connected all those generations, that's what it's all about. Rob, thank you so much for everything you have done for us. Appreciate you. All right, next up, our inductee tonight, Terry Rupp, who could not be with us here tonight, but his family represents. You know, there was a time in the early 80s when you started hearing about the great two-sport athletes, right? You know, Deion Sanders, some of the others. Well, Tampa Bay's two-sport athlete was Terry Rupp. He was an incredible basketball player, an incredible baseball player. He could do it all, and he did it all. Led Jesuit to a state title in basketball, later on transitioned to baseball, and led UT to a baseball national championship as well. One of the greatest athletes, as Rob said, could hit a baseball 600 feet. He was one of the greatest to ever do it, and he is represented here tonight by his family. But first, let's watch a video of the great Terry Rupp.
There are many stories about Terry Rupp, whose career begins years ago in programs such as Bloomingdale Little League, and how he went on to become a legend at Jesuit High School, the University of Tampa, Maryland University, and now the athletic director at Jesuit. In all cases, his intensity was a factor, typified by the scowl. His intensity, i.e. the scowl, made Terry a man with a mission to win at all costs. At Jesuit, he was a basketball-baseball star. He broke Lou Pinella's school record by scoring 1,705 career points. He led Jesuit to the Class 3A basketball state title in 1984, averaging 31 points and 15 rebounds per game, for which he was named the Tampa Tribune Basketball Player of the Year and the Tampa Tribune's Hillsborough County Athlete of the Year. He was also named an all-county baseball player while at Jesuit. Neil Goldman, who was an assistant basketball coach at Jesuit when Terry was a player, recalls, Terry had 38 points against number 1 ranked Lakewood in 1984, but Jesuit lost at the buzzer as the winning shot glanced off his fingertips. In a rage, he punched a swinging door. Unfortunately, it was blocked by a cement wall. He broke his left hand. With Rupp out of the lineup, the Tigers lost and lost. Finally, he had enough. He went into his garage and tried to remove his cast with a hacksaw before his parents intervened. The cast was removed 2 weeks early. Jesuit's record at the time was 12-12. With Rupp back, the Tigers went on a 10-game winning streak and captured the state of Florida Class 3A title as an unranked team. Terry opted to go to Davidson, where he was promised that he could play basketball and baseball. the head basketball coach at Davidson, did not appreciate Terry going to the batting cages during the basketball season and told him to stop. He didn't. Scotty Wilson, a close personal friend of Terry who was on the UT basketball manager, had stayed in contact with Terry. When Terry told him his frustration, Scotty suggested he consider transferring to the University of Tampa. He did. Coach Schmidt remarked at the time, "Some players have a tremendous amount of physical ability, but when they're out on the court, they play for themselves. Then there are guys who play strictly to win. When you do that, sometimes you end up playing a lot better than you really are. That's Terry. It's all just drive for him. Winning is simply the only thing he cares about." Terry ranks among the top 5 all-time at UT in defensive rebounds average per game, and free throw percentage. He was named second team All-Sunshine State Conference in the 1987-88 and 1988-89 seasons. While at UT, the Spartans won 63 and lost 15. Terry was taken in the 16th round of the MLB draft by the San Diego Padres, playing professional baseball for 2 seasons. In 1996, he returned to the University of Tampa to become the university's head baseball coach. As a baseball coach at UT, he compiled a record of 215 wins and 80 losses, and his 1998 team won the NCAA Division II national title. He was named NCAA Division II National Baseball Coach of the Year in 1998. On 3 occasions at UT, he was named the South Region and Sunshine State Conference Coach of the Year. Jill Rupp, his wife of 26 years, recalls how during the 1997 season, doctors found a brain tumor. Following surgery, he returned to coach baseball against medical advice. That 1997 season is not one to remember, but after undergoing 7 weeks of radiation treatment, often making him groggy and nauseous, he returned to lead the Spartans to their 1998 Division II National Championship. Terry left UT to become the head baseball coach at the University of Maryland, where he lamented recruiting was difficult. It was too far north for the kids from the South and not far enough south for the kids from the North. In 2009, Terry became the athletic director of his high school alma mater, Jesuit. Under his tutelage, Jesuit athletes have excelled in the classroom and on the playing fields, earning numerous academic all-state recognitions from the Florida High School Athletic Association, winning state titles in basketball, soccer, and football, while in swimming 3 times, baseball and wrestling 4 times. Now, hopefully, you can appreciate why Terry Rupp is being inducted into the Sports Club of Tampa Bay's Athletic Hall of Fame, not only because of how his intensity gave cause for his successes as an athlete and coach, but now as the AD at Jesuit, where he has instilled that commitment and intensity to win, which brings about success to the team and each person who is fortunate enough to be a part of it.
Please welcome to the stage Terry's father, Bob, and his sons, Shane and Jake, to accept the award.
Terry was really looking forward to being here tonight, but about 2 months ago, he was having sensations that he had when he had the tumor removed 27 years ago. So he had an operation 3 weeks ago from this last Tuesday, and everything went real well. He came home, was fine for 2 or 3 weeks. And then on Monday night, he had a relapse, had a terrible headache, and was readmitted to Moffitt Cancer Center. Monday and Tuesday, he was in intensive care. Today, they moved him out of that, so he has improved, but he's had a struggle. But as was mentioned, he's a real fighter, and we feel like he'll get through this without a problem. So he was looking forward to seeing a lot of his teammates and his coaches, and he really misses that, and that's what he was really set to do, I think, is play sports and coach sports. But if he was here, I know he would talk about a lot of his teammates and also his coaches, John Spinar, who was his basketball coach at Jesuit, and Dave Kent, who was his baseball coach at Jesuit. And then Richard Schmidt was his basketball coach at the University of Tampa. And some of you might have been here when University of Tampa played NC State. NC State was high-ranked team, and they had 2 or 3 players on their team that eventually got drafted in the NBA. Well, the game was sold out. You couldn't get a ticket to the game. And Tampa ended up beating NC State that night. And well, there was a side note, though. I think Dick Vitale got sick. Not Dick Vitale. Jim Valvano got sick when he made that trip down here, and he didn't coach that team that night. So he says you can't hang that on him. That's what he said at the time. But I didn't finish here with his coaches. His baseball coach at that time was another inductee into this organization, Lalo Prado. And then he became the head baseball coach at University of Tampa, then at Maryland, and now back to Jesuit. And like I say, he really wanted to see a lot of the friends here tonight, but unfortunately he can't be here. So we appreciate everything this organization has done and his induction into this Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that incredible story there. We pray Terry gets well. Thank you very much. All right, next up, one of my lightning brethren, the great Dave Mishkin, play-by-play man. Yes, absolutely, for Dave Mishkin. Dave is now not only a great play-by-play man, but he's also a novelist. And it was so kind of him to name his book after my career, Blind Squirrel. That's very nice of you. Excellent. And it is a great read. Please go get that book. You know, he recently shared a story of me. You know, Dave is he can get rather loud when he does that score thing. And sometimes when he's in another arena, the fans are right there. He shared a story with me. I hope it's not something you were to say tonight, but it was a Red Wings playoff game. In the Joe Louis Arena, the old arena, the fans are like right there. And I believe it was maybe an overtime goal or something. And Dave just went, Dave went Mishkin. He went full Mish. And he said score. And some fan took his bottle, was a water bottle, but soaked in vodka, and just turned around and threw it at him and hit him right. Never missed a beat. But that's the passion that Dave Mishkin brings to this game. And if you've ever listened to him, you can feel it through the radio. It is absolutely palpable, and he's the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. Please check out a nice video here of the career of Dave Mishkin.
Dave follows the puck as well as anybody I've ever heard. It's radio, so you're listening to it, so you've got to describe it, what's happening on the ice, and Dave does a masterful job. When the team's on the road, I listen to it on the radio. I close my eyes and I can picture the whole game by the way he's broadcasting it. There's no better compliment I can give him.
Tim Taylor, left point shot to a screen, save made, rebound, score! 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 It's Marty staying away, baby! Marty's done it again! Left circle, Hedman holds, in front, Johnson, score! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Johnson! It counts! It counts! It counts!
That's what I like about David. He just does his job, and he's very good at it.
Cross the line, right circle, Stamp goes open, shoot, score! Stamp goes! And it's over! It's over! It's over! Yeah! The Lightning are going back to the Stanley Cup Final!
The first one was unbelievable. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it. David brought that. He brought that emotion. He brought it with him.
How does this sound? The Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning! Way to go, David. This is unbelievable. The Lightning win the Stanley Cup. They have reached the top of the mountain. They are the Stanley Cup champs.
Wow.
The Lightning have done it.
They
They have gone back-to-back for the second year in a row. Wow. They have won the Stanley Cup.
Congratulations, David. Welcome to the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Well deserved, my friend. Looking forward to another year.
He is the soundtrack and the passion of our Lightning lives. Please welcome Dave Mishkin.
You know, when people meet me for the first time, they're like, why are you so laid back? It's like, this is how I am most of the time, except when I'm not on the air. I'd like to thank the Tampa Bay Sports Hall of Fame, Sports Club of Tampa Bay, for this honor. I'm humbled. I'd like to congratulate the fellow inductees. I'd like to congratulate Coach Dungy for his Lifetime Achievement Award, and I know all of our thoughts are with the Rupp family, and wish Terry the best. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my table. I have some special friends at the table. The person I've known the longest in this entire room is here. He came down from Pennsylvania, Jeff Sharilla. Thank you, Jeff. I'm just gonna take this off because I'm a little taller, Rob, than you. When we moved down here, my wife and I, in 2002, she connected with an old college friend, and we have been great friends ever since. Jason Carrier, thank you, Jason, for being here. My dear, dear friend, Paul Kennedy, and his lovely wife, Joan. Paul, my one-time running partner on the road, and also the godfather to my kids. Thank you, Paul, for being here. Speaking of which, my children, Eli and Madeline, I could not be a more proud father. I love you guys. And my amazing wife, Dulcie, my best friend, I would not be here without her. And literally, I mean that. I would not actually be at this podium because I would not be able to do the job that I do without her doing everything that she does back home. Because when the team goes on a week-long road trip, guess what? The team broadcaster also goes on a week-long road trip. When the kids were younger, she handled everything. We got animals. We got everything going on. And I'm not there for long stretches of time. I love you, Dulcie. Thank you. So I heard this expression quite a while ago, and it has stuck with me ever since. And it relates to one's chosen profession. And it goes like this. There's what you love, there's what you're good at, and there's what you do. And God willing, they're all the same thing. I was very fortunate to find something I love to do at a young age. And the story begins the start of my sophomore year at Yale. I'm sitting in the dining hall, and I grab a flyer that's promoting the WYBC tape delay broadcast coming that weekend of Yale versus Brown football. And I look at it and I say to nobody in particular, oh, that sounds like fun. And the student who had just laid the flyer down heard me and said, well, we have an introductory meeting next week, why don't you come? So that's how I got involved in radio at the college level. And one of the things that WYBC offered for their sports department was a talk show. We had a talk show for half an hour, Monday through Friday. So even though I had no experience talking in front of a microphone, it gave me an opportunity to get reps talking about sports, which I love to do. I didn't exactly get to do play-by-play right away. I was a sophomore, but the seniors who were running the sports department encouraged me to take a cassette player to the games. This was the fall, so we're talking about football, sit in the stands and call the game. I'm like, okay. So I started doing it. Fall turned to winter, hockey season started. I started doing the same thing at the hockey games. And I just enjoyed doing it so much that when I didn't bring the cassette player, I was still actually doing the play-by-play, sitting there in the stands. And probably an early good sign was that nobody told me to shut up. So by the time I was a junior, the seniors had moved on, and I was one of the co-sports directors, and so I got to do basically any game that I wanted to, and I was really the only one who had an interest in doing hockey. So Yale hockey is a Division I program. Yale hockey during the time that I was there was not very good, but a lot of the teams they played were very good. In fact, my sophomore year, Harvard, the arch rival, won the NCAA title. So we're talking about the very best of the best in terms of college hockey coming in, and I was getting a chance to call those games. And it was at that point I realized this isn't just something I want to do, this is something I have to do. I have to find a way to make this my career. So through my senior year, I kind of blanketed North America with demo tapes. As they say, it only takes one. And that one came through the Johnstown Chiefs in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, located, thank you, 90 miles east of Pittsburgh. They were in the ECHL, East Coast Hockey League as it was known then, 2 tiers below the NHL. We're looking to bring the broadcast position in-house. In other words, they had somebody who was doing the games, worked for the local radio station, but they wanted somebody to not only broadcast the games, but work for the team, do PR, do sales, do promotions, the whole kit and caboodle. That's usually the way it works in the minor leagues. You wear about 8 hats. Coop knows this, having been at that level too. So a week after I graduated, I got in my car, I drove to Johnstown, and in 2 years of doing college hockey, I probably had amassed maybe 50 games of experience. That very first year in Johnstown, I did over 70 games. So you can just imagine the number of reps I was getting. 3 years in Johnstown, and just down the road, the Hershey Bears were looking for a broadcaster. They were our affiliate my 3rd year in Johnstown, so I knew management. They were looking to promote from within, so I got the Hershey job in 1994. Now I'm 1 step below the NHL, but I never really looked at it that way. The way I looked at it was, I'm doing something I love to do, and somebody's actually paying me to do this? Are you kidding me? So I got to Hershey. I was there for 8 years. There was a championship along the way in 1997. Also along the way, the guy who hired me in Hershey got a job in the NHL, Jay Feaster. He was the GM in Hershey in 1994. In 1998, he got hired by the Lightning to be the assistant general manager. By 2002, he was the general manager. And Jay calls me that summer and says, get your stuff ready. We think our radio guy is up for the Anaheim TV job. This is a promotion for him. So I got the heads up and sent my stuff down. Did Jay Feaster hire me? No. He was the GM. This is a separate category. This is the business side. But Jay Feaster did deliver my demo tape to the guy who was going to be making that decision and dropped it on his desk and said, I think you should give this guy a listen. So that obviously went a long way. What also went a long way, which I found out about later, was the coach of the Hershey team that did win the Calder Cup, Bob Hartley, had also been promoted to the NHL. He was coaching in Colorado. This is 2002. In 2001, the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup with Bob Hartley behind the bench. So Jay Feaster calls Bob Hartley and said, Mishkin's up for the job. Why don't you give the president of the team a call? So Bob called the president of the team, Ron Campbell, and what Bob Hartley said to Ron Campbell on my behalf was, I am so sure you're going to love this guy that if you don't love him, I'll pay his first year's salary. Ron Campbell comes to me afterward and said, Bob Hartley really likes you. It's like, yeah, because it's not only about the job that you're doing, it's the relationships that you make. It's how you conduct yourself. Do you show up on time? Is there any I in team? Like, you're the broadcaster. It's not really about you. You are making it about the team. And obviously winning a championship helped. And my calls were on all of those memorable plays for Hershey in 1997. So I get to the Lightning. Who am I working with? One of the greatest hockey players ever to play, one of the greatest goal scorers ever to play, a Hockey Hall of Famer, the founder of the team, Phil Esposito. So I arrive, Phil comes in, I'm Phil. That's how our relationship has been. You can tell from the video, and thank you, Phil, for for saying all those kind words. That one of the best parts of being the Lightning's broadcaster has been the opportunity I've gotten to work with Phil all these years. He often says I get him in trouble sometimes. He almost got me in big time trouble not even 1 month into my first season. So when I arrived in 2002, the Lightning had not seen a lot of success. They'd only made the playoffs once. They'd never won a playoff round. But that was changing. I parachuted in at just the right time because the Lightning in 2002, 2003 would win the division. They would win their first ever playoff round. The next year they would win the Stanley Cup. They got off to a good start that year in October of 2002. So we're about a month into the season. The Lightning are doing well. They're near the top of the standings. They have a home game against the Islanders. They did not play well. They got blown out at home. They're losing like 5-1 in the third period when one of the Islander players drives down the wing, cuts in front, the Lightning defenseman stumbles, literally falls on his butt, and this guy walks in and scores. And I'm calling this, and Phil, as he sometimes is wont to do, cannot help himself. And what he says is, "Oh, good Lord," as this defenseman lands on his butt. And I hear this, and I am this close to losing it on the air. I'm like, I am gonna get fired. They are losing 6-1, and here I am about to start laughing on the air. But I pulled it together, fortunately got through that game, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. I've been very lucky to call a lot of memorable moments. As the broadcaster, we have no impact whatsoever on what happens. As I often say, we get a ticket to the train and we just sit on the train. And sometimes the train goes all the way to the last stop. Sometimes the train never leaves the station. Fortunately, the Lightning have often gone very far down the line. Thank you, Coop. And I've had the privilege of being there in those moments and getting a chance to call so many of those memorable moments for all of you. But even if I had not gotten even one of those moments, it wouldn't have changed how I feel about what I get to do. And I've said to my kids more than once, if you can find something you love to do and then find someone to pay you to do that thing, you'll never work a day in your life. That's been my experience. Thank you very much.
Check. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, he's chill, but man, the passion that comes through and his love for the Lightning are just absolutely amazing. And if you can't tell, he's one of the best human beings on the planet. Well, you just saw it right there. Dave Mishkin, everybody. Huge hand. Our Lifetime Achievement Award is a special award we created a few years ago. And it has gone to people that have shaped the Tampa Bay area for multi-generations and for thousands and millions of people. Jeffrey Vinnick, owner of the Lightning, obviously. Betty Castor at USF. The Glazer family, one of our recipients. Phil Esposito, the founder of the Lightning. George and Leonard Levy, much talked about this evening, who birthed all of this professional sports in Team Tampa Bay, and Vince Namoli, who brought the Rays to Tampa Bay. It's weighty stuff. You got to make an impact, and these people have done it. Tonight, we honor a man who can fit right in with those Tampa Bay icons. The architect and inspiration and culture builder of the Bucs' first Super Bowl team, and a Hall of Fame man full of faith, family, and football, Tony Dungy. Please, yes. The Bucs have put together a beautiful video of Tony Dungy. Please enjoy.
Coming to Tampa, our first experience, I was coming from the Minnesota Vikings. We got on the plane to come down and be introduced. It was 13 below zero in Minneapolis when we got on the plane. It was 74 when we landed, and my wife said, this is home for us now.
Working technique now. How we do it, not necessarily what we do, how we do it. Tony changed everything. When he got here back in 1996, we had a long history of losing. He changed the culture in the building. He changed the culture in the locker room. The players had a new attitude, and it led to great things.
Meeting the Glazer family and Rich McKay and talking about their dreams and ideas for the franchise and the things that I wanted to do to help the Buccaneers become a winner once again, get our players involved in the community, be part of the Tampa area, and bring that excitement back to Buccaneer football.
I'll start up the gut, and he goes to the end zone.
We became a reflection of Tony. It's just the way he approached the game. That's how we played football. You're going to line up against us on Sunday. You're going to know exactly what we're going to do, and we're still going to beat you.
It really is rewarding to look back on 1996, 97, 98, and our fans were so passionate, but they hadn't had a lot to cheer for in over a decade. I think it had been 13 years since we made the playoffs, and they wanted things to turn around. And our players were very, very passionate as well.
It doesn't matter about stats. It doesn't matter about where we play, who we play. We play our game, we're going to win, and we're going to win a lot.
You grow up as a kid thinking about, boy, I'd love to make it to the National Football League. I'd love to play, love to be in the Super Bowl. You have those kind of dreams and aspirations. Then when you get into coaching, boy, I'd love to coach my own team, and I'd love to be part of a winning franchise. So I had all those dreams, but you never really think of a lifetime achievement award in a city and what that means. That means that, yes, you did some good things on the field, but you were a bigger part of the community. And I think that is the thing that's just so touching and heartwarming to me, that after 30 years, people feel like our family has added something to the community, and to receive this honor, it's just so touching. Well, to the Sports Club of Tampa Bay and all the people there, I can't tell you what this means. To be honored in your hometown like this is just unbelievable, and I can't thank you enough. I really wish I could be here, but unfortunately I can't, but we'll get back next year and be part of it when someone else is inducted. But just know that this is very, very special, not only to me, but the entire Dungy family, and we thank you very much.
There is no finer man on this planet. Accepting for Tony Dungy, his son, Eric Dungy. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much. Do not have a speech prepared, did not know I was going to be saying anything. As my dad mentioned in the video, we moved here in 1996. The second we got off the airplane, my mother said, "This is our new home. I don't care where your career takes you. We are here now in Tampa." And so I appreciate that you guys feel the same way about us, that 30 years later, you consider us one of your own. And so on behalf of my family, I want to thank you for this Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I speak for many reporters that thank your dad for being so gracious for all of us and all the stupid questions that we asked him. So please apologize. He's a great man. Love him to death, and we look forward to seeing him soon. We just keep it rolling with another incredible man that has touched this community like so few have been able to do. Through 35 years of coaching high school kids, Dominick Ciao has coached some of the best. At Jesuit in Berkeley, 35 years, 275 and 119, 31 consecutive winning seasons, two-time Coach of the Year in the state of Florida. And I could stand up here all night long and list the athletes that you have coached and the men you have touched throughout the years and what they have gone on to, great businessmen, great leaders in our community. We've prepared a great video here for Dominick, Ciao. Please enjoy.
I just remember saying, my sons need to play for Coach and be a part of his locker room.
The lessons that I brought with me to Ohio State, the lessons that I bring with me to the Tennessee Titans are the lessons that he talked about in terms of life and in terms of being the right type of person, both in the locker room and off the field as well.
We spend so much time at practice on non-football things because truly for Coach, it's all about, molding and shaping young men to hopefully become, great men, great fathers, great husbands later on in life.
He's so special in the fact that he spoke to our hearts about how important we can be in this community here at Berkeley with kids that are in, pre-K, just the leadership role and every day somebody's watching you, so consistency about your character.
So many people come back and walk through the halls and they want to see Coach. That's just a testament of the type of person that he is.
He still is constantly getting good luck messages on Friday night football games and from people that graduated years ago, from Jesuit, from Berkeley, from all of his past careers. That's the kind of influence this man has. He is not just he was my high school coach. He is so much more than that.
First ever big carry was down this left sideline, and I had the ball in my right hand, and I actually scored a touchdown. And I remember coming to see Coach in film the next morning. Coach looked at me and he said, "Oh, you're probably pretty excited, huh, Nelly? Got a big touchdown. But what were you doing with the ball in the wrong hand?" Some people may think scoring a touchdown is success, but for me and for Coach, we know that success is doing things the right way and not so much concerned about the result, but the process.
He has built these relationships across this web of coaches across the nation that are collegiate coaches. Some are in the professional, the NFL now. Not only is he helping current juniors and seniors in their recruiting process, he's helping kids that are in college with other opportunities within the, in the transfer portal. And then he's certainly there to guide any of the kids that are looking to go into the NFL draft.
He had a football with them, so we played a little bit of catch outside in the parking lot right after I got drafted. It was just a really great moment to have him there because he was there every step of the way, so it wasn't going to change them.
So Coach was there at the Super Bowl, and he told me, he said, "Nelly, I know today's going to be a lucky day. I'm sitting in seat 13 at the time. I was wearing 13 for the Eagles. I'm sitting in seat 13. 13's going to have a great night." And lo and behold, I had, a career night that night in the Super Bowl.
Kind of the fondest memory is just him winning states.
We walked down the sideline right before kickoff and high-fiving, hugging our assistant coaches because we all played for him and we wanted nothing more than to get a state championship for him.
And it was, when I say magical, it was magical. Makes me a little teary, but it was great. It was cool.
The Berkeley Prep football team passed its toughest test of the season on Saturday, upsetting a top 15 nationally ranked team to win its first ever state title.
When he got interviewed by reporters, and the first thing that he did was deflect.
Well, this game was about all the players that ever played at Berkeley, all the coaches that ever coached, that laid the foundation.
A lot of people were thinking like it's finally a culmination of something that everyone wanted. It really did feel like the Tampa community were joyful in seeing him win because they knew what he meant to the school, they knew what he meant towards the community, and they knew what he meant to football.
Everybody cares about everybody, and I'm surrounded by great young men, and when you're surrounded by great young men, I believe you could do anything.
Please welcome to the stage Dominick, Ciao.
Wow, thank you so much. Good evening, and first and foremost, I want to thank the Tampa Sports Club for this incredible honor. To be recognized by an organization that has done so much and supported and celebrated athletics in this community is truly humbling. Thank you for believing for what I stood for and for making tonight possible. Standing here to be a Hall of Fame inductee is one of the greatest honors of my life, but much as the night has my name on it, it is really a reflection of the people who helped me through this journey. To the presidents, the principals, and the athletic directors that I had the privilege to work with, thank you for your trust and for giving me the opportunity to lead. Your belief in what we were building allowed us to grow something truly meaningful. To the parents, thank you so much for your trust, unwavering support, your belief in what we were doing, and your involvement meant more to me than you know. From the sidelines to behind the scenes support, you were always there. For your kids and for us, your role in our success was truly as vital and more important than what we did on the field. To the assistant coaches, I have a lot here. Many of you once played for me, and watching you return to coach by my side was the most meaningful parts of this journey. You brought the same heart, loyal, and drive to the coaching that you brought to players as players. You helped build this program brick by brick. I'm proud to have stayed and coached beside you. To my players, I truly cannot thank you enough, not even in a lifetime, for your trust, your commitment, your unselfishness, shaped every success we've ever had. You gave everything for each other, for the team, and for the process. You inspired me daily, and I always carry those memories with me forever. To my family, I have my sister, Marilyn from Chicago here, Dr. Bob. I have my nephews from Chicago, Stephen and Ryan here. But to my family, to my late parents, who were my heroes, you were my rock. Thank you for your patience, your love, and your constant support. You allowed me to give so much to the game, and I hope this moment shows how much it meant. To my mentor, Hall of Famer Wild Bill Monahan, I know Martha is here. I don't know if Billy, his son Billy. I met Coach in 1979, and from that moment, he and his family put his arms around me and never let me go. What I learned went far beyond the game. I was shown how to lead with integrity, with passion, and with purpose. Every value I ever passed down to my players and coaches began with him. His influence is everything I've ever done. I carry by example with him every day. It's a true honor. I'd like to close with this, okay? This saying from the great John Wooden. He said this: "You have not lived a perfect day until you've done something for somebody that can never repay you." To my coaches, to my players and my family, never in my lifetime could I ever thank you. You have lived perfect days over and over again. From the bottom of my heart, this is a great honor, and I thank you very much.
Coach Dominick Ciao right there. It's the best. I love when we kind of bring it full circle to the kids growing up here, playing Little League and then high school football and going on to be superstars here in Tampa Bay. which, oh, by the way, silent auction is going on right now. Speaking of superstars, we got some great Evan Longoria stuff out there, some great memorabilia. So please head on out there and please bid. I've been told by Lori Engblom, Brian's wife, you cannot bid on the Taylor Swift thing. That's hers. So stay away, or I'm in trouble. So, but please go bid. The money going to the Boys and Girls Club. I told you, Brian, I'd get you. And speaking of superstars, our next inductee is simply easy to do this. The greatest player in Rays history, Evan Longoria. Evan, you won't remember this, but night after night, we stuck that microphone in your face, whether we were winning or losing, and you're always there to take the heat and always praise your teammates. And I will forever thank you for that. You were great to the media, but the fans, whenever your name is mentioned, the love just comes out. They love you here. And we thank you so much for coming back, because I know you're doing this here tonight and then for the Rays this weekend as you retire a Ray, as you should be. Absolutely. You will always be a part of Tampa Bay, and I think tonight, by being inducted into the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, we got you. You're ours forever in immortality. Please enjoy this great video put together by the Rays that encapsulates the incredible career of Evan Longoria.
Down the left field line. Longoria on the run. He gets there. The Rays are going to the postseason. In 2008, 9 does equal 8. Rays win. Rays win.
The feelings, the emotions, you know, when I caught that ball down the line and you know, we clinched our first playoff berth, those feelings never go away.
Evan's going to try for second, and for the second time in Rays franchise history, a player is hit for the cycle.
The Rays baseball that I know is first and foremost about having fun, enjoying being around your teammates, and playing for your teammates.
The Rays have punched a ticket to the postseason.
Being that I've been here for half of the Rays organizational career is pretty special. It's always been my goal to kind of leave an impact on this organization and just, I guess, do my best to represent it, you know, as a Ray.
This one, it's gone! It's gone! Evan Longoria has just hit the Rays to the American League wild card.
Please welcome to the stage the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay Rays and a Hall of Famer for all time in Tampa Bay, the great Evan Longoria.
I'm coming up for air so I can check myself again, and I stand proven to the man but sheltered. Confidence returned to shelf, and unexpected hunger drives me. Just shut up and stand beside me. I don't need your understanding. I don't need to change a damn thing.
I've thought long and hard about how I was going to start this, but I've been sitting next to Sid all night, and all she wants me to do is hurry up and get this thing done. So, and I also thought about if I was going to bring a piece of paper up here on my phone, and I got my phone. I guess it's 2025, so it's okay. But from 2006 to 2017, I called Tampa and St. Pete my home. I was comfortable here. I felt welcomed here, and I was able to have fun. I always believed that this was the place for me, and because of that, we were able to accomplish great things, both on and off the field. From our first winning season as a franchise all the way to the World Series in 2008, we pushed the Rays down a path toward becoming a perennial contender in a difficult AL East division. Away from the field, with the help of many great organizations and individuals, my wife and I were able to engage in a community that welcomed our ideas and brought them to life. I'm so thankful and grateful for the years I had here as a Ray. They were undoubtedly the best years of my baseball life. There are a few people here that I'd like to thank, and some that couldn't be here. My parents, who aren't here, but they're the reason that I am here. As a parent now with kids who play sports, I fully understand the sacrifice that it takes to get kids to practices and to games, selflessly devoting what little free time they had to whatever it was I was into. My wife, Jamie, who everybody knows is my rock, always unselfish, always unwavering, always the backbone of our house. Playing was always easier because you kept us on track. We love you and we thank you for all your dedication. My kids, they're not here, my older kids, but thank you for always loving Dad even when I didn't get a hit. And there's a long list of people from the Tampa Bay Rays, some that are here and some that aren't. But Stu Sternberg, Andrew Friedman, Matt Silverman, Eric Neander, who is here tonight, Brian Auld, Fred Repke, who was the scout that drafted me, RJ Harrison, Mitch Lukovics, Jimmy Hoff, Joe Madden, Kevin Cash, and Tom Foley, all the on-the-field people that helped me throughout the course of my career. Chris Westmoreland, who is here, and his entire clubhouse staff, Ron Porterfield, Paul Harker, and all of the training staff that helps us every day, and Rick Vaughn, who is here tonight as well. Thanks for being here, RV, and every PR person and media person that we cross paths with on a daily basis. And of course, there's countless other people, both on the field and off, that have helped me along the way on my journey. Our careers as players are only as good as the people around us, and I truly believe that my time here, we had some of the best in the world. I'd also like to extend a special thank you. You guys have heard that Soot Zimmer is here tonight. I got to sit next to her all night too, so that's been a gift. But Dawn's impact on my career as a young player can never be understated. I'm grateful for our friendship, and thank you for sharing Dawn with us players and staff for all those years. Lastly, the Sports Club of Tampa Bay. I'm deeply honored to be inducted behind some of the biggest names in the Tampa area. Anytime that you're inducted into any Hall of Fame is super special. And as a kid who just loved the game, and I never could have imagined that I'd be inducted into any Hall of Fame. So I'm grateful for everybody who has followed my career. I'm grateful to everybody in the Tampa Bay area who supported me. The love was definitely felt, and it's special that I get to celebrate with you guys tonight. So thank you so much.
Just when you think that you're down and out, don't think and see what I'm all about. Look for a reason that you have to start acting like a friend that you are not. And when you think that we played it out, we come from the bottom and knock it out. Look for a reason.
How awesome is it to hear that song and have Evan walk up one more time? That is absolutely fantastic. I hope you got chills just like I did. Well done to the Extravaganza production people. Can we get a hand for Paul Thomason's crew? Great production they're doing tonight. We appreciate that. All right, next up, the great John Cooper from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ladies and gentlemen, two-time Stanley Cup winning coach. His story is ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. He goes to law school. He's a public defender. From public defender to quite simply one of the greatest coaches in NHL history. I'm going to do this real quick for you. So he starts in around 2000 at Lansing Catholic High School. Hadn't won a title in 25 years. Coop comes in. They win a title. The Metro Jets in National Junior B, whatever that, wins a title. 2002, the Honey Baked Midget Major AAA. Whatever the hell that is, he wins it. He wins that too. 2003, the North American Hockey League in a place called Texarkana. He played hockey in Texarkana and won a championship. Then he went to that other hockey hotbed, Green Bay, and won a title at the USHL in 2010. In 2011, he gets called up to the AHL, one step below the NHL, the Calder Cup. He wins that with the Norfolk Admirals and wins 28 straight games, which is still a professional hockey record, which is just insane. And then finally, in 2013, somebody at the Lightning said, you know what? We should probably hire that guy. He's pretty good. And so the Lightning will take it from here in the career of the great John Cooper.
I didn't know any of the players. I didn't know pro hockey. I couldn't even tell you what per diem was. That's where I was at. And now we just created an atmosphere that people wanted to be a part of. And that's what we want to do. And it doesn't happen overnight. And the faster you can get started, the better we're going to be.
And head coach, John Cooper!
Everywhere Cooper's coached, he's had success. He is what we refer to as a serial winner.
I think John Cooper is one of the greatest coaches I've ever met. I would have loved to have played for him. That's the truth.
It's not easy to have one of the best teams in the league 10 years in a row to make the playoffs virtually every one of those years, like we're going to do this year.
You know, he believes in what he's doing, and he believes, you know, the way he wants to play is the right way to play. But, you know, just how he evolves with the game as well. I've seen throughout his years, and, you know, coming in, he's obviously learned, you know, a tremendous amount of, you know, about this league and about how to play the right way and how to be successful in this league.
Drive the dot! Drive the dot! Send it, send it, send it! Box out! Good start here, boys, good start. Be responsible! Our best defense is playing offense!
Sometimes when I watch him behind the bench, I think, how does he control himself from not going to the player and whispering in his ear, what in the heck is the matter with you? You know, I sometimes wonder how he does that, but he does.
The respect factor is huge for me. Is we all have to respect ourselves, and we have to respect the game, and we have to play the game right. When they learn to trust you, the world is endless. It's limitless what we can do.
Process over outcome, work over hope. That's what we do. TV timeout to TV timeout to TV timeout.
Time ticks down. The Lightning win the Stanley Cup. They have reached the top of the mountain. They have gone back to back. They are the Stanley Cup champs.
Two moments that come to my mind. One, both boat parades, Coop on the deck of the boat, on top of the world. That image is indelibly in my mind. But the lateral moving triple fist pump when we won that series, and the sheer excitement that he was exhibiting when we did that, that was a special thing.
It's remarkable to be able to do it 3 different ways. At home, they deserve it. Right here. Family.
He hasn't limited his winning to the ice rinks. Ever since he moved to the Tampa Bay community, he has been a tremendous leader for our hockey team as well as for our region. He has used his platform, his intelligence, and his charisma to support numerous causes and to touch the lives of so many in our community.
Coop's Catch has been, you know, it's been so much fun to be part of for us players, and to go out there with some of the kids and some of the families who've gone through obviously cancer treatment, and you know, it means the world to us. For him to put that up every single year with a lot of help, obviously from the Lightning Foundation, has been great. But yeah, he's meant a lot for the community. So he's obviously one of the best to ever do it in this league.
There's no other coach in the league that's done it as long as he has with one franchise. I think he knows he's the most interesting man in the world.
Congratulations, John. So well deserved, man. You've been a wonder. You're a great coach, and you're a good guy. Congratulations again.
He's a Hall of Famer in the community. He's a Hall of Fame coach. And we welcome him to the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame. Please welcome Coop. Let's get a Coop going, shall we?
Hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them.
Wow. This is a little surreal. I was watching that video, I was like, shit, I'd like to play for that guy. This is hard to explain. And first of all, I want JP, thanks, man. I can hardly see why you get fired all the time. But like, Randy, Mark, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. This is an unbelievable honor. And just to look out here, it's been a weird year for me. And it's, you know, we had a really good season, but like it's like mixed messages. And so I know we kind of obviously fell short coming into the playoffs, but you know, like 4 months ago, you know, the great Rob Higgins over there, and we're at the sneaker soiree, which I know I see many familiar faces, and like I feel like I'm in the prime of my career. Like this is like I got a lot of runway left, and I got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
And I was like, holy cow, well, is there a signal being sent here? Now I'm being inducted in the Sports Club Hall of Fame. When you're inducted into a Hall of Fame, it's like, wait, you're with Hall of Famers. You're with people that have like knocked it out of the park, that have done all these things and not like still what you consider in your prime. And this is happening twice in 1 year. And I'm looking around, I'm like, what have I really done? I'm like, I'm not, Dave Mishkin. I'm not a legendary sports caller where you're going to watch TV for the rest of your life and you're going to see these unbelievable goal calls and he's going to be the guy calling it. I'm not Evan Longoria, which, by the way, that night in 2011, I was coaching in, where the hell was I? Norfolk, Virginia. That kept me up late that night, bud. That 3-run home, I thought you guys were dead to rights. And then you hit that home run and I still remember, was it the 12th inning? And they had 2 on, nobody out, and you guys got out of it, and then you came up and, oh, trust me, I remember. And but I mean, that's doing something iconic. And Terry Rupp, I was like so pumped. I was really, really upset when I didn't get to meet him here. My son goes to Jesuit, and to be a part of that legacy, and it's not to be able to meet him. I'm going to meet him, damn straight I'm going to, but I was hoping to tonight. But these are just icons. I mean, Dick Vitale's here. I mean, it's Dickie V. It's awesome, baby. He's he's the face of basketball and college basketball and all these things. But you know what he's really a face of? There's a beautiful man named Jim Valvano that passed away on us, unfortunately, and somebody had to carry the torch. And the V Foundation is nothing without Dick Vitale, and that's the biggest compliment right there. And his lovely wife, Lorraine. So it's like, I mean, Rob Higgins. I mean, what can we say about him? I mean, he'll self-deprecate himself, and he'll say all these things, but all he's done is bring every single big event in the last 20 years to Tampa Bay, whether it's been Super Bowls or Final Fours or Frozen Fours or you name it, he's brought it. Oh, and then, by the way, got cancer and then had to kick that while he's doing everything for this wonderful city. But let's be honest, I know you've crushed cancer, but anybody that can bring an outdoor hockey game to Tampa, Florida, that's doing something. But Tony Dungy. I mean, first of all, how hard is it? I mean, it's 0.0% to play any pro sports. He plays in the NFL and wins a Super Bowl, and then goes to coach and wins another one as a coach. Like, who can do that? I mean, these are guys that are iconic moments. And then, last but definitely not least, this man right over here, Coach Ciao. Now, this is, it's impressive. And, to think, let's be honest, when you guys went through that playoff run, you were a touchdown underdog in every single game you played. And you cost me, that was a day you cost me, because, by the way, we should be in the same Hall of Fame. You and I, there should just be one for you and I. Because he has to deal with Andre Kerwin on his staff, and I have to deal with Nigel Kerwin on my staff. So it's, but I commend you guys. And so to be in this breath, it's hard for me because I don't look at it. I don't look and say, well, that's not me. That's not me doing all that stuff. But apparently it is. And I think, for me, if I can, leave with a couple things. First of all, you have to have a rock in your life. And my rock is sitting right over there. Actually, well, now she's all by herself. Somebody sit beside her because I kind of feel bad. But you have to have a partner that brings you through it. Because somebody can stand up on the stage, but really there's somebody else back there in a group of people that really are the support staff that allow you to stand up on the stage. I was an attorney, and I will fast forward this because the great speaker is coming after me, but I was an attorney. I went to law school to become a sports agent. I actually worked on Wall Street before that for 3 years. Played college lacrosse. I didn't even play college hockey. I went to Wall Street, worked there for 3 years. I was going to get into stockbroking. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to go become player agent. The player in me never wanted to leave. Never played pro hockey. Got into law school, went to Lansing, Michigan to go to law school. Went 3 years of law school, but then when you pass the bar in Michigan, you need a job. I didn't have a job. So I was playing men's league hockey, happened to be I must have had a good night. I think I tucked a couple in that night. This judge comes up to me and he says, hey, you interested in coaching? I'm like, yeah, I can coach, sure. And he said, I was like, are you Judge Brennan? He goes, yeah, I am. It's like, he goes, will you coach my kid's high school hockey team this year? It'd be an honor. And I said, well, Your Honor, if you slide my resume from the bottom to the top and make me your public defender, I'll coach your damn kid's high school hockey team. That's pretty much how it happened, and that was in that was 1999. And I coached. I lived in I coached 2 teams in Lansing. I moved to Detroit, coached 2 teams there. I met my which now my beautiful wife. She was in law school at Michigan State. I said, you know what, baby, I know we just met, but I'm going to move to a small town called Texarkana, Texas. I'm going to throw caution to the wind, throw the law degree out the door, and I'm going to go coach 16 to 18-year-olds in a town that can't even spell hockey. And I left, and The Rock came with me. And from 2003 to 2013 when I got hired, so that's 10 years. I was in Detroit a year. I was in Texarkana for 3 years. I was in St. Louis, Missouri for 2 years. I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin for 2 years, in which we had twin daughters. Well, she had twin daughters in St. Louis, Missouri. They never lived in their town. We moved right to Green Bay, spent 2 years in Green Bay, in which we had our son. He never lived in the town. Went to Norfolk, Virginia when the Tampa Bay Lightning hired me in 2010. Spent 2 years in Norfolk. The team moved to Syracuse. We spent a year in Syracuse. That's 8 cities in 10 years. And if you told me, if I was going to get a professional hockey job, that I'd be in that town for 13 years, I would have laughed in your face. But there's a reason to hear, and I'll tell you. And part of this journey is to have a rock that carries through you and puts you in front of them. And I will never forget that, baby. And I love you for this and what you've done with our family and where we are right now. But there's one common factor that gets you there. And I always say this. What's this? It's a 0. You know what costs 0? Being nice. That's it. And I've lived by that. And everywhere you go, you just be nice. It doesn't cost you a damn thing. And I come to this town, and you know who everybody was? You were all nice to me. And I just was nice back. And when you're in a situation like this, when you have a microphone in front of your face, there's an obligation. And for me, to meet the Dick Vitales and everybody in this room, one of the biggest things for me is, those 2 Stanley Cups, is this a big thing in my life? Of course it is. But you know what really matters is Coop's Catch. And a charity that can sit here and watch, because the hardest things for me are not, watching us blow a late lead in a game. It's watching when you run your charity and 3 of the kids there that were at it 2 years ago are no longer with us. And so when I stand here and say, what is special about Tampa? Well, this is what's special about Tampa. This is what it is. It's all of you. And because of all of you, and, for me and my family, this is all I ever known. This is all my kids have ever known. And contrary to rumors and whatever is going on out there, I'm never leaving you guys. And it's, but I thank you. I thank you for this award. And like I said, it costs 0 to be nice. And you've all been so nice to me and my family. And I thank you.
The good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates of flash the home team.
Now keep it going for John Cooper right there. Hey, we broke some news. He's never leaving Tampa Bay right there. That is awesome. And John, Rob Higgins shared that story about you going to visit that chemo patient, and that touched me, and it touched everybody in this building. And I think it's at the essence of who you are and the people that love you and know this. So thank you very much for not only the hockey and the great memories, but who you are as a person. Thank you so much, John Cooper. All right, our final inductee here is a man that really needs no introduction whatsoever. He's just simply the greatest college basketball announcer in the history of the game. He is college basketball. If I may share just one quick story, and I was about a 23-year-old snot-nosed reporter in Tallahassee, and the great Dick Vitale was coming to Tallahassee to do a big 1 versus 3 game against Carolina. And I thought it would be a great idea if I had a Dick Vitale sound-alike contest with a bunch of students and asked Dick to judge it. Like, can you imagine him saying, and you know what he said? Sure, I'll do that for you. And he did it. And I couldn't believe it. And that was like the greatest moment of my life to that point. So Dick, you don't remember it, but I thank you for doing that for me. And we put together a great video for you. But first, Joey Johnson, one of our esteemed reporters here for the Tampa Tribune I worked with for so long, has an even better Dick Vitale story for you.
So the year is 2008, and I am writing for the Tampa Tribune, and we in Tampa are preparing to host the NCAA basketball tournament early rounds, a really big deal. So we are preparing a special section on this event. And my editor is saying, how can we write about this event? What moves you about it? What do you like about it? And I go, well, I'm like everybody else in America. I mean, the thing I like about the first rounds of the NCAA tournament is those little teams, those little guys, those big upsets, those Cinderella teams. I mean, that's the greatest sporting unit in America. The Cinderella teams make it what it is. My editor goes, how could we illustrate that in the newspaper? What would we put on the cover? And I go, I must have been in a really weird mood. I said, why don't we put like a Cinderella dress on Dick Vitale? And she said, do you think he'd do it? And I said, he might, but I went into a panic attack. I said, I'm going to have to ask Dick Vitale to wear a Cinderella dress? I went home that night. I didn't sleep a wink that night. I'm as nervous as anything I've ever done in my life. I called Dick, who I'd known Dick about 25 years at that point. He and his lovely wife, Lorraine, have always treated me so well. I wrote about their daughters, Terry and Sherry, playing tennis. Absolutely beautiful family. Loved them all to death. But now I've got to do this. I called Dick. Dick, can I come down and meet you for lunch? Sure. I'm going down there. I'm flop sweating. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We're at lunch. I literally cannot get the words out of my mouth. They won't come out of my mouth. I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to ask him this. So we're done. And I just take a deep breath and I go, Dick, we're doing a special section on the NCAA tournament, and I was wondering if maybe we could take a picture of you in a Cinderella dress. And he looked at me and he cocked his head. He said, wait, you want me to wear a Cinderella dress? I said, yeah. And he said, why not? It'd be so much fun. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do we have a photo of this anywhere? Is it up? Okay. So I will never forget when this made it to the set of ESPN and Bobby Knight held it up and he just kind of looked at it like, what the? So, all right, I'm telling this story for a point. Why would Dick Vitale agree to do this? To me, it encapsulates why this man is special. Number one, he wanted to help his friend, me. Didn't have to do it, but he wanted to help me. Number two, he wanted to promote the game of basketball, which he does better than anyone who has ever lived. And number three, this man loves life, loves people, loves having fun, loves entertaining. Everything has been a joyride ever since I've known this guy. It has been an absolute blast. So we had our silly fun. It's an incredible memory. But obviously this man stands for much more than silly fun and jokes. This guy has come to do some incredible, incredible work. And we're going to show you some of that in this video upcoming right now.
He's
one of a kind. There'll never be anybody like that. People want to hear him and his knowledge and love and passion for the game.
He was sort of the face of college basketball, and obviously being from Australia, that's sort of what I always grew up watching.
Welcome to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Forget about politics. College basketball is number one, baby. Boys had a big night. More. Oh, I care. Get it to you, baby, John. Get it to you.
He's got one of the most recognizable and infectious personalities in the history of American sports.
ESPN, you ready for this? Is going to give a scholarship. Room, board, tuition, and I'll tell you what, Robin, I'll throw in the books, baby. If this guy here, Corey Klaus, who was picked out, has to make a half-court shot. Cheer him on! Let's go! Get this place going! Get it going!
My treatment's going to be steroids and 6 months of chemotherapy. And during that time, they're going to try to plan the chemo so that I can be free to do some games, which I got to do. That's my best medicine of all.
It is a very special night.
The great Dick Vitale returns.
Great being here, Dick. I didn't want to cry. I can't believe I'm sitting here. It's really a big thrill for me. I want to thank all you people. Sent me so many great messages.
For many decades, you've inspired us and so many others as you've championed the fight year after year against cancer, and now it's our turn to help you. And you just know we all got your back.
Ring the bell, baby.
I want to give a heartfelt shout out to our dear friend Dick Vitale. Dickie V found out that he has vocal cord cancer and needs to undergo 6 weeks of radiation.
For 7 months, you're the first people hearing my voice in a long, long time. Take care. I love all of you, and I thank all of you for your prayers and your unbelievable love you've sent me. It meant so much to me.
He has a couple of bouts with the kind of cancers that would absolutely kill and end somebody's life, or certainly with his throat cancer, end his career. Not Dick Vitale.
Cancer has returned a 4th time. In a tweet, Dickie V said this: "My report on the biopsy of the lymph node in my neck has arrived, and it is cancerous."
I just had some surgery on my neck, cancer, but they had to remove a lymph node that was cancerous.
It got announced that he was going to call one of our games again. I had people texting me there's no way. It's just crazy to have him back and just seeing him do what he loves to do.
Duke and Clemson, and for the first time in almost 2 years, Dickie V, baby, will be back at the mic.
Tonight, we celebrate the return of a true legend. Welcome back to college basketball, the one and only Dick Vitale. Dickie V, you're awesome, baby.
And the reception here has been really off the charts. I'm sorry for being so emotional, but I can't tell you how excited I am to be here. This is like my Super Bowl, to be able to be sitting there courtside and do a game.
Seeing him just fight and battle through cancer, man, it's definitely makes me want to go harder as a basketball player. I've always kind of wanted him to commentate one of my games.
Here's Hepburn, Chucky Hepburn, and he'll knock down that shot.
He is special. He really is special.
Hey, Dickie V, it's great to have you back, and great to have you back on the sidelines.
He will fire. He wins it! July Mayshot wins it!
Mayshot is a star of stars. Oh, wow. Unbelievable, man. Think positive. Have faith. Believe. Don't quit. Don't ever give up, as Jimmy V would say. You got to battle and battle and battle.
He's done so much good off the court. What he's done
to help raise money for cancer research. The lives that he has been involved saving and prolonging is just utterly amazing. I stand in awe of Coach Vitale.
His greatest legacy is going to be what he has done to fight pediatric cancer. Dick, we all love you for it, and it's just an incredible legacy that you're building there.
If you know someone that's battling cancer, send them a message, send them a prayer. It means so much to them. And you cancer patients, remember this, always think positive and have faith.
Please welcome a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word, our friend, Mr. Dick Vitale.
Well, thank you so much. I'm just awed by the unbelievable reception I received from so many people in my travels. And I just want to simply say, I think John said it so well. So many of you people to me in this crowd are Hall of Famers. Hall of Famer in terms of, thank you. Hall of Famer in terms of being a husband or a wife or whatever you've done in life. You don't get the recognition maybe people like us are in the sports world, but I know I look at my family sitting here today. I look at my two daughters here, Terry and Sherry. They both went to Notre Dame and graduated, got their masters at Notre Dame. Hell, I couldn't spell Notre Dame. I couldn't get it. Are you kidding me? And then my grandkids are here, two of them. The others are working and doing things in terms of advancing internships. I had three at Duke playing tennis, twins that graduated. We just graduated about 2 weeks ago, and one of them here is here. Connor, stand up, Connor. Connor played tennis 4 years in a row, he and his brother, and the team was ranked nationally very, very high. And the sisters here, stand up, Ava. My granddaughter, Ava. I have one goal left in life. I want to see all 5 of my grandchildren graduate college. Well, Connor and his brother did. They're gone. My daughters here, Terry and Sherry. I want both to stand up. Terry and Sherry, my daughters. Sherry had 3 kids, the twins, graduated Duke, and their daughter right now, Ava's a rising sophomore at Duke, and top 5 in the country they were this year in tennis, and she's on scholarship for tennis there. My daughter Terry, she had 2 that went like she did to the Golden Dome. One played lacrosse, and I know John Cooper was a lacrosse player before he got involved in hockey. Bottom line is, he won 2 national championships. And they got upset this year, but he's got 2 of those rings, national championships for his son, Ryan. He's a rising senior. And her daughter played tennis at Notre Dame, and she graduated. She works for Edelman now, a great company, and doing really well. That's my family. Except, oh, wow, I didn't introduce my wife. Are you kidding me? My wife, 54 years. We are married. Stand up, Lorraine. Stand up. Stand up. Let me tell you this. The Hall of Famer in my family. Are you ready for this today? I get in this Hall of Fame in Tampa. I'm so proud to be here. All the giants that have been honored here. I saw Dave Mishkin up here, did a great job to become what he's done in terms of broadcasting. And you had Rob Higgins, who's done a great job for this community and this area for many, many years. And I didn't know Coach Ciao, but I'll tell you one thing, I'd love to play for him, man. He's all about pride, perseverance, respect, intelligence, desire, and enthusiasm. And, oh man, Tony Dungy. Let me tell you about Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy, we honored him at my gala. We have a gala, as you all know, it's sort of there. And we have a gala every year raising money for kids battling cancer. It's probably the best thing I ever did in my life. I'm still on cloud 9. We had our 20th gala about a month ago. We raised for the night $12.5 million to give us $105 million since we started. I cannot believe the generosity and all the people. Mr. Dominick, you saw him on there. Oh my God, millions, a heart of gold, just a heart of gold. The Lightning giving us cash, and then, all the teams, the Bucks, the Rays, they've all really helped me along the way for kids. There's nothing worse, nothing worse. You saw the video. I hate that, looking at that video in a way, because really, some of the darkest moments in my life, one I'll share with you. Gets me a little emotional when I think about it, but I'll share it with you. My darkest moment was one day, I'm doing chemotherapy. I'm doing chemo, I'm in the hospital, and normally I would do the chemo, and they would allow me to go home. But that day I was having a tough day, real tough day. And Dr. Brown said to me, Dick, can't let you go home. We have to monitor everything. And my grandchildren were there, my daughters were there, my sons-in-laws were there. And they were all there, and they finally had to leave about 9 o'clock, leave the hospital. As they leave the hospital, I'm in the room by myself, and I'm crying hysterically. I'm crying like a baby. And the nurse came in, and she was terrific. She says, Dick, what's the matter? I said, I don't know. I hope and pray that's not the last time I see my family. I just felt so miserable that day. And I hadn't used my phone for about 7 hours. And she cheered me up enough that I said, let me grab my phone. And I look at my phone, and I was overwhelmed with the unbelievable messages, and they had no idea about what happened with the chemo with me that day, but they were just all day long, knowing that I was doing chemo, wishing me luck, all that. And you name the coach, Rick Barnes, Calipari, right down the line, right. My president of ESPN, Jimmy Pitaro, such a beautiful guy, and all the ESPN people, and it gave me such a lift that I try to tell people, like I'll tell you here. If you know someone, a friend, family member battling cancer, if you know them, please take a moment, send them a nice little text message or send a prayer. It means so much. When I got those from those coaches and people, oh my God, gave me such a lift. Saying to myself, my buddy Jimmy V's words, don't give up, don't ever give up. And then I thought of my mom. I grew up in a home that was filled so much with love. My mother was uneducated, and my father was uneducated. They worked in a factory. My dad pressed coats. Oh man, he pressed coats. And my mother sewed coats. That was their job. My dad took me there my junior year of high school. And I had to run from the seamstress who makes the coat to my dad, and he would press in the sweatshop, and the sweat pouring down. And he said to me all the time, his uneducated way, Richie, go to college. Richie, don't do what we're doing. Nobody in my family had ever went to college at that time. but they inspired me. My mother, I'll never forget, she sat me down one day and I shared this. If you ever want to hear, I got a lot of great reviews. When I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame with a great class, Patrick Ewing, Pat Riley, Olajuwon, and I was part of that class in 2008. And I rehearsed every day a speech because I didn't want to leave anybody out. Because no one, and all the people honored here today, Tony Dungy and John Cooper and Evan Longoria, all these greats, and all the people didn't even know some of their names but have done great things. My God, to get to the top of the mountain, nobody gets there without people helping them and making it happen in their lives, taking time. Well, my mother one day, I was really down. We had won back-to-back state champions in basketball. I'm like 28, 29 coaching in a football environment where we had like the coach I had, Coach Ciao, remind me so much of you. Big, strong guy, and I idolized him. I was a high school student, and he was the coach, turning 6, 7 players a year in major colleges. And I used to watch him walk the halls. I'd say to myself, oh my God, one day I would love to be able to walk the halls and have the kids look up to me like that. Well, fortunately, I became the coach there at East Rutherford where I was a student, and we ended up having the teams that won back-to-back state titles. And I came home with a dream, a boy, a ball of dream, as my buddy used to say. If somebody used to see me, he'd say, you're a boy, a ball of dream. I was dreaming, I was no name. I was not a great player. I didn't know anybody. And my friends would always say to me, Richie, he was never Dick, Richie, well, you're wasting your time. You can't be no college coach. You're chasing a crazy dream. You weren't a player. You don't know anybody. You're a high school guy. You're going to be here all your life with us. And there was nothing wrong with that. I loved teaching. I loved coaching. I didn't like the money I was making. I liked TV a hell of a lot better. But you see, the bottom line is, I came home and I was depressed. My beautiful mom, she recognized it. She said, Richie, in her own Italian way, she would say, Richie, I don't see that spirit, that vitality, that enthusiasm. What's going on? I said, Mom, my buddies are all right. They're all right. I'm wrong. I'm getting more rejections, applying for jobs at every school imaginable just to get in the door, graduate assistant, assistant coach. I got more rejections than the dean of Harvard gives out. Bottom line is, she said, sit down. I sat on the couch, and in my speech at the Naismith Hall of Fame, I shared that story. And the stories that my wife heard in all my rehearsals after the speech, she says, that was nothing what you rehearsed, because I spoke from my heart. No notes, no nothing, right from my heart. And my mom sat me down, and she's this uneducated woman. She said, Richie, don't believe in your friends. Don't listen to them. Listen to my advice. She gave me 2 things of advice that, till this day, I listen to all the time. She said, Richie, never ever believe in can't. You can be what you want to be. I lost my eye as a kid. I was about 5 years old, poked it with a pencil, accident. And she inspired me then. Big deal, you got one eye. Don't make excuses. You could be somebody, Richie, because you got something, and then you know what she meant. She kept saying, you got something they can't hold back. Your love for people, your passion, your spirit. Don't lose that. I'd give anything for my mom and dad to be living, to see the friends I have, the people I know. 15 Hall of Fames I'm in, 15. I can't run, I can't jump, I can't shoot, and I got a body by rigatoni, but I'm in 15 Hall of Fames. Because all my life, I listened to my mom, and I absolutely have always done everything I've ever done with passion, with spirit. I believe the keys to success in life, I'll guarantee everybody I mentioned here was honored, And maybe in all the people that are successful, because this room is filled with loads of success, whether it be law, medicine, education. You know what? When you're successful, you basically have three things. Three things. You have, number one, you have perseverance. The ability to persevere when things get tough. And then, to be a success, they'll all tell you, Evan Longoria, I mean, he heard the word can't. He wasn't even a highly recruited kid out of high school. But he couldn't stop him from chasing his dream and his goal and becoming the super that he became. But you know what? He had that perseverance and he had that passion. You must have passion and you must have preparation. You know, they say sometimes you see people that are successful, oh wow, they're lucky. Lucky, I learned in life, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And luck is when preparation meets opportunity. When you're there when an opportunity comes and you make the most of it. But my mom told me, as I said, two things. Never believe in can't. And then she said something to me that I try to utilize today as much as I can, all my life. She said, treat people how you want to be treated. If we all did that, the one thing that tears my heart out in our country, our nation, the lack of love for one another. We get the political people, I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever you are. Bottom line is there's no more talking about issues. It's name calling, screaming, making things up. It's unbelievable. We lack so much love. But if we all treated each other, why can't we just disagree? Why can't we disagree in terms of have opinions in the world? But the bottom line, it's gotten out of control. And that troubles me because I love so many people. I'll close with this. I mentioned earlier, my son-in-law's here too. Thomas, he's a judge, circuit court judge. He had to put a guy away today for life. And it's not easy doing that. But he also was a quarterback, played at Notre Dame. So he knows about tough times. And most of the boys, a good person. My other son-in-law, Terry's husband, had to do some surgeries. He's a surgeon. So I got a lawyer, I got a surgeon, I got two beautiful daughters, 5 great grandchildren. What more can anybody want? When I think about me, sometimes I think about this. 5 grandkids, 2 at Notre Dame, 3 at Duke. If the Duke admissions office came to me and I applied, and they said, Dick, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Forget about the SATs. We'll give you the word Duke. You spell Duke, and we'll give you the D, and we'll give you the U. You spell it right, you'll get admitted. Trust me, I would screw it up. I wouldn't get that right. But I did get right this. I'm going to tell you a quick story with John Cooper. I can't let this slide. John Cooper, there was a guy years ago, I'll give my age away. Many won't know him, but he was a great baseball manager, a winner. Leo DeRocha, his name was. He said, nice guys can't win. Nice guys can't win. He never met John Cooper, but I met John Cooper. John Cooper, he ran Coop's Catch. One day my buddy and I, Mike Valdez, tremendous guy, great broker. My guy handles money for Merrill Lynch, and Mike donates so much money for me for kids battling cancer. One day Mike and I, my wife, we were at a restaurant and we're having dinner. And a couple walks in and they come over to our table and very nice. He said, I don't want to bug you, Dick. He said, but I just want to tell you this. Keep doing what you're doing, raising money, because it means a lot to us. Our son has brain cancer and he's going for surgery. And he's 10 years old. And something about him, I liked him right away. I said, join us for dinner. And he and his wife joined us. And through the dinner, about 40 minutes, he said, I want to show you some video of my son. My son is a great hockey player. He's 10 years old. I said, great, I'm a typical dad, excited about his kid. And I love that. I love that he was so proud. I'm watching this video. I can't believe what I'm watching. I don't know much about hockey. But my God, Mishkin would have been calling this like crazy. It was one goal after another against the older kids. So we get in the car. I tell my wife, I'm driving, dial Coop's number. Get John on the phone for me. So I get John on the phone. I said, John, Coach, I said, I'm with his dad. He's got this kid. He's brain cancer. I need a favor, John. Please send me a Lightning jersey with his name on the back and number 1. John says, are you kidding me, Dick? I'll do better than that. Why don't you let him come up here, bring him to practice. I'll let him skate with the team. Oh my God, the kid never forgot it. John never forgot it. He's taken such an interest in this kid. This kid now is 17, and he just signed. He's going to play for the number 1 amateur hockey team. And since then, he's had 5 times he heard the words, as his dad tells me, 4 words you never want to hear as a parent. Your son has cancer. I've heard it 5 times, Dick. His cancer's come back 5 times, but nothing can stop him. He's that courageous. At my gala every year, I have the all courageous team, a bunch of youngsters battling that disease and fighting. And that's why I'm so obsessed. No child should have to go through what I've gone through at 85 years of age. I've lived a great life. I've lived a blessed life. But a kid, 10 years old, doing PET scans, blood work, it never ends, never ever ends. It's brutal. So I beg you, in any way, shape, or form, if you ever want to help me, just go to dickvitale.com. Go there, and you'll see everything we're doing. And everything I do, every book I sell that I autograph, basketball, hats, whatever, every dollar goes toward pediatric cancer care of the V Foundation. I want to say God bless you in closing. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're really special, and this is special for me to be here tonight. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Vitale. Incredible. Thank you, Dickie B. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. You know, I sit back here this whole time and I take little notes on all these great induction speeches, and I kind of say, what have we learned tonight? One thing I've learned is we're a family here in Tampa Bay, and through sports, we see it personified, the love and the charity, and trying to make it better for everybody else, just one more day, and make their lives better, and we saw that tonight. Rob Higgins, thank you so much for coming here tonight. And what did we learn from you? That you and Dom Ciao would play basketball together, and he'd post you up in his sweaty back. That was nice. Thank you for that. We learned Terry Rupp hit a 600-foot home run, and we also learned that he's been in the ICU. And Bob, we're going to pray for him, and the power of prayer is going to bring him through. And we thank you for being here tonight, Terry Rupp. Dave Mishkin, we learned that you called play-by-play in the stands and nobody told you to shut up. And you said, you know what? I think this is for me. And the Bob Hartley had to bribe Ron Campbell to get you your first job. So that was pretty cool. And speaking of bribes, I didn't know that John Cooper, you had to bribe a job to get your first job as well. I don't think, maybe the statute of limitations is gone on that, so I hope so. But thank you for all you've done in this community, and it's you know, it costs zero to be nice, and I'm going to take that from you tonight, absolutely. And Evan Longoria, watching you walk up to that song one more time gave me absolute chills. I appreciate that. And Dom Ciao, you thanking your players for all your success. Your humility is inspiring. And Dickie V, you're just Dickie V, man. This is an inspiring life. Thank you for all of you inductees for making this an incredible night. Now, before you go, we have one more thing to do. Lou Maggio, I know you have a special presentation. Well, Brandy, well, this is for you, Brandy, so we got a little surprise for you. Come on up, guys. Come on up. Kelly Lastra, our board of directors.
Oh, I want to close out, too.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Then you're going to get your gift. Let's do you first. Here you go. Go ahead, guys.
So, what an inspirational evening we've had tonight. And again, these Hall of Fame inductees tonight. I mean, give it up one more time. These guys mean so much to our community. They've done so much in the world of sports. And thank you so much for coming tonight. The silent auction will be closing in 5 minutes, but we just wanted to say a nice thank you again for everybody coming in. This is my last microphone for a little bit, so I wanted to say how much I have enjoyed being the Sports Club of Tampa Bay's president the last 2 years. And I am giving the gavel to Mr. Lou Maggio, who will be becoming the next president of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay. And Lou, I'd like to present him with his badge. And also, by the way, Mr. J.P. Peterson has agreed to come on our board. So, J.P., this is for you. And I can't fire him.
Well, first of all, I am truly honored to be the incoming president of this truly historical organization. And I encourage you all to go to our website, www.sportscluboftambabay.org, and learn about our history, because our history is the history of Tampa sports. Now, you've heard the saying, it takes a village. Well, our village had the most amazing mayor for the last 2 years, and I only hope that I could do half the job that Brandy has done, because she has laid us out for success. And we hope to have you all here next year. And my new vice president, Kelly Lastra, and myself, and I'm not going to miss talking to Brandy 5 times a day, and I will continue, because she's staying on the board. But thank you all, Brandy. I love you.
Thanks, everyone. Please drive safe tonight, and God bless each and every one of you for what you do for us. I hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight, and God bless everyone.